in a way that we've not been allowed to do by the estate, and it is the estate that hold us back. I don't care what anybody says.
Particularly as your merch has never been your fucking strong point in the first place. I realise that paying people to tell you that your t-shirt looks fire is not worth the bloody paper it's printed on. This is the Big MJ Debate, the show that discusses the most exciting, divisive, controversial, and hilarious goings-on within the Michael Jackson fan community, and also gives you a first-class seat to MJ events and hotspots around the world. I'm Pez Jax, and today it's just two for tea as I'm joined by my co-host. She's sharp as a two-edged sword, but we loved her because she's Shah McLachlan. We would have Ilya with us, but he's currently sunning himself in Gran Canaria. In this episode, Shah and I will be discussing emerging evidence that the estate of Michael Jackson are using influencers to promote new ventures King of Style and MJ Merch Official. We'll be looking at this in more detail and asking, does Michael Jackson really need this for success? So, influencers. I think this is a topic that has sort of come up out of nowhere recently, but has wound us up something chronic. So,
right, okay, where do we begin with this?
So the estate have obviously set up two new kind of ventures, King of Style and MJ Merch Official. And they've both just sort of sprung up overnight. And both of them have all of these followers that have appeared. If you actually look, you'll see that most of them are bots and purchased followers, just like John Branca's are also the same. And every time they post, there's just this barrage of flame emoji, yes, slay, or whatever it is. And then you look at the accounts and they're all evidently people that have been asked to or paid to or contra deal to comment. And they're all, funnily enough, from the same three model agencies. So, I mean, why do the estate think they need influencers?
I mean, I think that, so the first time we really saw this was MJ Merch Official, right? Well, actually, no. The first time we saw it was on Branca's account. But I actually tried to not look at that right now. Try not look at that anymore. So, the first time we really noticed that influencers were kind of being brought into the world of MJ was MJ Merch Official. Because at first, the new account obviously wasn't getting a lot of engagement. Most fans hadn't found out about it yet. Scrolling through the comments, all these, this merch is tough, this is fire, can't wait to get mine. And I mean, the community, I don't want to say the community is small, right? But you recognise people. You recognise, and I'm clicking on all these profiles thinking, who are you? I have never, ever seen half of these people on Twitter or on Instagram. And I'm not saying, oh, you need to be recognisable, but who are they? And then we soon worked it out. They're all from the same modelling agency and being paid to comment and endorse this new venture.
Well, it kind of goes a step further because I was talking to, so when you go to MJ1, you have all the kind of people that take your tickets and show you to your seats, and they're all wearing red coats. They're meant to be like paparazzi, so they have like a hat, sunglasses and stuff. And I was talking to one of those, and they told me that a lot of the audience were comped tickets. So they were invited to attend by the estate. And then I looked online, and that's how I found these two photos that you can see, which show one's called like MJ Tick Block or whatever they're called. And the other one is another influencer that is parading around MJ1. And then suddenly I started looking through all these different accounts, and I saw that they were all clearly invited to be there. These are the same people that are commenting on MJ Merch Official and have been commenting on King of Style as well. Because it was like some guy dressed as a cow, and I remember saying to him, move out the way. But I was a little bit drunk. But but I remember seeing the guy dressed as a cow and thinking, what the frig has that got to do with Michael?
The leasing of the cows on the estate.
I'm talking greenback folding money.
Yeah, greenback folding money.
That by leasing the cows?
Yeah, well, we have cows on the property that belong to other ranchers, and we give them the space.
On Michael's birthday, you knew who the fans were because they came in their t-shirts and they came in their fedoras and they came in their sparkly jackets, and you knew who the MJ fan were. I mean, you can pick us out of a crowd. But this lot did kind of stick out like a sore thumb. And then when you look at all their comments on Instagram, they're like, great to be in Vegas at the Michael Jackson birthday celebration, not happy birthday, Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
You're a legend. Your music changed my life. So thrilled to be here. This is a once in a lifetime. It was all just kind of like very generic, like, yay, celebrating the king of pop at his birthday celebration.
Yeah.
And I was like, something stinks.
Yeah, no, and as well, like, it does kind of beg the question, do they think they need to invite people or pay for their experience for people to enjoy this? Because I'll tell you right now, they don't. They don't need to invite people to come and enjoy this when there's plenty of fans who want to do that.
I don't understand what they are hoping to gain from having people that no one's ever heard of. Like let's break it down, right? So the purpose of an influencer, surely at the bottom line, is to influence people to do something.
Yeah.
Right? So do you remember when Kylie Jenner, and you know I'm not a Kardashian or a Jenner follower, but oh, shut up. This is one of the things we disagree on. Actually, I'm going to come back to that point. But do you remember when Kylie Jenner said something like Snapchat is dead and they lost like 1 million subscribers overnight or something?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. Right. That's an influencer. Whatever I think of them, that's an influencer because that's a person that's made a statement and it's influenced the actions of others. That is an influencer. What the fuck have this group of people with one just like a cow and one Holly riding with a glittery purse? I don't feel influenced. What are you meant to be convincing me to do or the public to do? Because from what I can see, if you're not posting about Michael or you're not presenting that you actually are even liking Michael, what is the point?
To me, this experience is for the fans. An immersive experience, a birthday celebration is for the people that are fans that want to go and enjoy Michael and celebrate him. Maybe if there was even some more recognizable influencer, maybe I'd half get what they were going for. You know what I mean? There was nobody that I've ever seen or even heard of.
So that brings me back to the point I was going to make, that if it's about, obviously, if influencing is about coverage, right? If what they're hoping to achieve is coverage, look at all these people that were at MJ's birthday. They had the best time. It was amazing, right? Let me tell you one way to get in every newspaper, every magazine, and get attention for that show and Michael's birthday and Michael's popularity with one move. You invite Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
So, she's a Michael Jackson fan. She buys endless shit from the auction. She's got Janet's If outfit. She gave, what's the kid called? North. The Cannes Film Festival jacket. If you say to Kim Kardashian, do you want to come to Vegas for Michael Jackson's birthday? Firstly, the amount you pay all these other little nobodies would probably amount to the same. And Kim Kardashian would then be in the Daily Mail, in the Mirror, in every single newspaper, Huffington Post, Page 6, whatever they're called, TMZ, the rest of it. All will be Kim Kardashian at the Michael Jackson show in Las Vegas celebrating his birthday. Boom, your coverage is wide. Yes. But instead, let's get some kid dressed like a cow and there we go. That's influence for nobody.
Listen, I'm fucking a 25-year-old girl. I feel like I know who is an influencer and who's not. And these people who they've invited for their repost, half of these people, I scrolled through their followers too. They're all bought as well.
Mm.
Isn't it very coincidental? I don't know if I should say this, but isn't it very coincidental that all of these invited influencers are the exact same looking people that John Branca is walking about on with each arm?
Right. Well, this brings me to my next point that are they varied enough? Because from what I can see, particularly if you look at MJ Merch Official's latest drop, most of the comments are blonde, white women. And if you
Yep.
go on their profile, they're all in bikinis. Every shot is a bikini, and I'm on the beach and I'm laying in a chair. There's a couple of other people. There's a couple of different backgrounds and ethnicities, but the majority is blonde, white, young women in bikinis. And I'm sorry, but that just fucks me off, because not saying that a blonde white woman in a bikini can't be a Michael Jackson fan, but Michael Jackson didn't need to pay women in bikinis to promote his music.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never, like, this is new to Michael. I mean, it's new to the estate as well, but it's new to Michael. Michael never had to do this. Michael never had to resort to having random people come on board like this to do what? To influence his fans.
It's so insulting to not only the fans, but to Michael and his legacy, to suggest that we need to pay people to become fans, right? Because that's what influencers get. They get gifted things for free so that their followers, like, I'm trying to think, fucking Molly May, she's a big British influencer. She has a tan business, a self-tan business. Her job is to influence people to buy the things that she posts about. So are they saying that Michael needs people convinced into being a fan? Michael does that all on his own. And this is all about, which we'll obviously touch on later on this video, they are focusing on the wrong people. They're trying to draw in young crowds by these influencers. And it's insulting to Michael. I mean, the whole weekend was insulting to Michael, but I find that, like, I've really, really got an issue with this.
But it doesn't make any sense either. Particularly, like, let's just look at MJ Merch Official, right? That's their new merchandise operation, which has popped up out of nowhere again. There's no terms and conditions on the website, so anyone that's bought from it, I've seen one person got a t-shirt, but why is there no terms and conditions? Why is there no contact information of who actually runs this? I mean, you know, I have theories on everything. I met a fan, Jen Jackson, in Vegas, and we got to talking. And every conversation that came up, I was like, I've got a theory on that. She was like, I'm ready. But my point is, like, MJ Merch Official seems a little bit off to me. Like, okay, why aren't we just doing this on michaeljackson.com? Is this an estate-owned business, or is this somebody else-owned business who have a license to produce merchandise and a license to be calling themselves official? I don't know. I don't know what the setup is, but I don't think it's just as clean-cut as, hey, we've set up a new business for this. Particularly as your merch has never been your fucking strong point in the first place. But if you need influencers on there commenting with fire emojis and saying how amazing it is, why is there not a single picture of an influencer in any of that merch? Wouldn't MJ Merch Official make more sense if all the pictures on that account were these influencers wearing the Michael stuff?
Yeah.
But they're not. They're just mock-up t-shirts and people going, fire, design looks amazing. Oh my God, I've got to get these. And I know Seb commented on a few, and I did as well, saying, great, can't wait to see your picture in them.
I mean, I think they probably think they have moved into the digital age now, you know, going, oh, we've got influencers promoting our stuff. We've got it. They're doing it wrong again. It's still wrong. It's still not what an influencer should be used for, and they're certainly not dipping into the right sort of market. Who are these influencers influencing to go? Plus, by the time they're posting about it, the event's already passed.
So if these influencers are doing their job correctly, then there should be an uptick in sales for MJ1. There should be an uptick in content of fans that have been and posted, hey, I'm at MJ1. Thanks at whoever for, I wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for you. And again, I come back to the merchandise point that what is the point in having people comment on merchandise if they're not even wearing it? Like, if you're not wearing it yourself, what your comment is an influence? Like, again, I go back to my earlier point. If Beyonce commented on MJ Merch Official, or The Weeknd commented on MJ Merch Official and put flame emoji, like, this is amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Watch it sell. But when this random other person is like, oh, I love these designs, it's like, cool, me too. Or not me too in this case, but you know, it's like, great. And what's your point?
I mean, just going back to the whole MJ Merch Official thing, the whole thing has been shady. Like, when we first did the small talk, I would not have been as kind had it been recorded 3 days later, because there has been weird stuff going on there as well. And I know that that's not what this video is about, but I think it's worth mentioning that the prices have since changed. The delivery prices seem to change every day, which points more to your theory that there is weird things going on with this.
I'm sorry, $75 for a tote bag. Are you taking the actual piss? I don't know if anyone's mentioned it to you, Branka Han. We're in a cost of living crisis. Who the frig you think has got £75 for a tote bag?
No.
It's a bag. It's a tote. And it's not even a nice bag. It's an ugly ass bag with an ugly ass design. That is not the album, and it's not the video, and it's got the wrong date because you're meant to be playing off the video with an enhanced version of the logo, which we've been there before. Episode 1 and 2 of our bloody Big MJ debate is about stop changing logos, and here you go again changing a logo. But we're so far past that now that people have just accepted that they seem to go, rack and roll with a logo and do what they like with it. So we're back to that again. And yet, $75. Like, if you want to make a high-end kind of brand out of this and a high-end fashion boutique style bag for $75, give a design worthy of $75. That is not it.
I mean, the second drop, to be honest, I feel like I was fooled by the first drop, because the second drop has just... I'm bored to tears of Thriller, even though I'm wearing it. There's just... Even now, we're on drop 2 and it doesn't feel fresh, it doesn't feel exciting. Again, it's like a letdown because these shipping costs are still so high. It's not really anything that's affordable for people. Never mind when you put an extra £30 on top of your £75 tote bag just so you can get it to your house.
It's weird that... I mean, I know that kind of strays from the point of influencers, but I think it's all part and parcel of what the estate are kind of doing at the moment and the way in which they're moving. And I think all of this kind of started with King of Style, which was their new venture as well, which if you'd have seen the photos that came out of it, you wouldn't even know who the event was about.
Mm-hmm.
But, and that they filled that audience with influencers, and they had a red carpet and they had a drinks reception. And Seb and I wrote an article about, King of Style is not for you because it's not for us, clearly. But all these influencers, these same influencers, are posting pictures on the red carpet of King of Style. And again, it kind of makes me feel sad because I'm like, not one of you is even wearing Michael Jackson influenced outfits. So what are you doing? Why? Like, if you and I got a phone call tomorrow saying, hey, there's an MJ event and there's a red carpet, what are we going to wear? It's not going to be... I'm not going to go dressed as somebody else, am I?
Yeah.
Or go, let me get a new suit off ASOS. I'm going to be like, what's MJ themed? Right, I'll go with that. Or even a glove or a hat or nothing. You're like, so who are you meant to be influencing with this? I don't get it. I don't get it.
And that being said, nothing would influence me more than seeing other fans out there and having these experiences that I then want to have. Nothing would influence me more than that. Nothing influences me more to go to MJ1 than hearing you go on and on about how great it is, and everyone else saying, you need to get out there, you need to see it. That's what influences me to go, because I trust other fans. I don't trust people who are paid to say they like things.
If you go through John Branca's followers on Instagram, I mean, to be honest, I first looked at that and thought, how have you got to like however many thousand he's got? It's like, who's really going, do you know what I want to do? Follow a lawyer on Instagram. Oh, I bet he's got some great content. Can't wait to see him shirtless on the beach. Like, what? So I looked through, and it's mostly bot accounts. There's even one that's like, it's like a drug_1, drug_2, or whatever it is. It's something like that. And it goes on for about 12 different accounts. The whole thing is bots. And again, it's like, are we really at that point where we need to buy support for Michael from bots?
But look at the number of followers versus the number of likes on a picture. The engagement is not parallel to the number of followers, and that's how you know.
Yeah.
The second point is, on TikTok, Michael has had how many viral songs this year? How many viral clips this year? And how often are they capitalising on that? All the people on TikTok, I think, however many % of their users are under 25. That's the place to be doing things. And guess what? You don't need to pay anyone to do it. All Michael songs go viral on their own. All the dancing goes viral on their own. You don't need to force people to like him, and it's in song to imply that you do.
Yeah.
I'm getting wound up.
No, get wound up, because I don't think enough people are getting wound up about this sort of thing. You know, why is this okay? Why does this keep happening? Why are we just accepting that this is the way things are? It shouldn't be that way.
But I do think we as fans have the responsibility, because everyone's here for love of Michael, right? We as fans have the responsibility to kick back against this. And I'm not saying, oh, everyone get online, everyone get in the comments section and let's all abuse. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people don't have to pretend that they loved the immersive experience if they didn't, that they loved Thriller 40 if they didn't. Because the ones who are buying it, if they're kicking back, they don't really have much option, you know?
Well, even there's a bit of censorship going on as well, because they are deleting comments off of King of Style and off MJ Merch Official. And my question to that is, if these are both meant to be official Michael Jackson accounts under the Michael Jackson brand, why the hell were we not deleting comments in 2019, 2020, and even today, particularly on Facebook, where people comment nasty comments about Michael? Why are those comments allowed to stay, but fans saying, hang on, the shipping is too high. Hang on, why are we doing this? Oh, are you going to deliver again? They get deleted, but people on Facebook can write awful things about Michael and that stays. Mm-hmm. Why is the policy different if they're all from the same brand?
I think it was made clear on the I was going to say the Sapphire celebration in Vegas, that, I mean, from that Q&A, that the estate's priority is the estate. It's not Michael.
I think with this whole influencer approach, that the change from the estate and the shift came in 2019. Yes. I think after that film came out, the estate were always very good at kind of like, you know, pandering to us a little bit, and you know, they would still do their own thing, but they would almost like treat us with kid gloves and be like, you know, the reason we do this is for this, that, and the other, and the reach is for this, and fans shouldn't worry that the estate don't know what they're doing, and all that. Like, we used to get all these like lengthy essays. Since 2019, it's like, that's out the window. We're doing what we like.
Honestly, see, when you put all this together, though, it's so laughable that this is actually what we are dealing with when it comes to Michael and how he's being represented.
Yeah,
it's laughable.
And I think the problem is, if we're talking about influencing, there is nobody young influencing the estate. And I think that is the issue. You know, I know they've got Prince on board, but this is not Prince's job to, you know, manage the estate at the moment. It's not Prince's job to guide the estate or to give on the ground market understanding. That's not Prince's job, and Prince doesn't have a foot in, you know, those areas to be able to influence the estate in that way, and nor should he. But what we've got is, you've got a group of old people in their 60s and 70s that are looking at things through the lens of what they like and what they enjoy and how they like to consume music and merchandise. And then they're paying a group of younger people, or doing an exchange of agreement with a group of younger people who are going to say, yes, estate, no estate, whatever you want, estate, because we're not going to question this because we get trips to Vegas. Yay. So that for them is their kind of into the younger. Well, we do have influence in the younger crowd. Look at all these people. It's like, you don't actually have anyone on your team that's young and saying, guys, this is wrong.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, the level of arrogance and lack of understanding is mind-blowing. And I think sort of this brings me to my next point about this influencer thing. If the estate won't have influencers or hire influencers, and bearing in mind we're using the term influencers very loosely, should the fans have an opinion on it?
Yeah. Because the fans are the ones that have Michael at heart. The fans are the ones that have Michael's best interest at heart and love him for no other reason than they love him. They're not paid to do so. They're not bribed to do so. The fans know what they want. And I think this is the most tiring part about being a fan in recent years, is this constant underestimation and almost daily, we're being patronized by them all the time.
I just can't deal with the mess.
I know it's so messy, and to be honest, it's actually quite hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
It contributes to this feeling of, I think fans feel defeated because it feels like we're constantly fighting and pushing against something that's never ever going to change. And I hate that. I hate that mindset, and I hate that I'm like developing that mindset. But it's almost become the norm to be disappointed by the estate, and to answer the question that you originally had was, is it okay for fans to have an opinion on this? Absolutely. The fans should be having an opinion on this, because the fans are the ones that are going to do that job for you without you paying them for it.
I think what's hard is that, you know, when it comes to the estate and this whole should fans have an opinion, the problem we have as fans is we didn't ask for the estate. You know, none of us wanted this. We didn't want Michael gone. We didn't want this entity that dictates what his career should look like, what his legacy should be. We didn't ask for that. We didn't want that.
Yeah.
And, you know, if every single fan on the planet had their way, Michael would be 65, trotting around, shopping with a scarf wrapped around his head and sunglasses on. And the minute they start telling the fans how to be fans and what the parameters of being a fan is and what the acceptabilities of being a fan is, that's when things get messy. You can't tell fans how to be fans. You have to let fans of a product be fans of a product. The minute you start trying to tell them how, then it becomes controlled and people don't want to know.
The fans are intelligent people with good ideas, and who actually, most of them, want to give their money to the estate. They want to spend their money on products. They want to spend their money on merchandise. They want to enjoy Michael in a way that we've not been allowed to do by the estate. And it is the estate that hold us back. I don't care what anybody says. And I know that sometimes we come on here and we just look so anti-estate and as if we hate everything they do. But see, to be honest, their likability factor is what is there to actually enjoy now? I don't like their social medias. I don't like what they put out. The minute, no matter how minimal it may be, I don't like the way that things crop up overnight, like this MJ Merch Official stuff. I don't like that things come out half finished, and I don't like that even if they promise us a project and we don't get it, we're not allowed to question it. What is there to actually like?
Well, I completely agree. And I think this is where, you know, bringing influencers into the mix, if their whole job is to influence us, surely the estate should be looking at them and saying, well, how do they build their audiences? I mean, we know they purchase them, but how do they build their audiences? What can we do to tap into the audiences that they have? So, you know, influencer marketing works both ways. It's not just about, okay, well, we've got this group of people that are influencers and now we want them to push our products. A smart company will also look at the influencers themselves and work with them on what they can do to tap into that already existing fan base or the style in which that they promote. I think it's very much one way, and that these influencers that they've got are not giving advice to the estate about audiences either. I'll give you an example, right? And I think there's so many little things that go by, and maybe we as fans can sometimes overthink it. But if you watch the last video, and I don't know if you clocked this, but it was the first thing I thought of. I highlight that they're now using the This Is It silhouette again in MJ1 promo. Bearing in mind, all the promo has taken Michael's actual photo off and it's now all silhouettes, which I don't like because it used to be photos, now it's silhouettes. But it's got the This Is It photo like this, and then underneath, it's got all the zombies from Thriller looking up. And the first thing I thought when I saw that is I was like, this doesn't go together. There's everything wrong with this.
I also think as well that, and I know that this may be a reach, this may really be a reach, but the fact that Michael is almost being so subtly, very, very subtly phased out of his own promo. Thriller 40 was nowhere. The fans knew about it. It wasn't really in shops. It wasn't really anywhere. As you say, with MJ1, his face isn't really there anymore. It's all silhouettes. I can't help but feel that they're trying to make it more digestible to people who are not fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel as if they're really, really trying to buy into an audience that maybe didn't really so much like Michael, and now they're toning him down so that we can get people who were maybe on the fence about him half on board.
No, you're absolutely right. And this really gives me flavors of that whole bullshit that came up in 2019 about separate the art from the artist. It's like, this is pandering to those people that want to enjoy Thriller on Halloween but don't want to associate with Michael Jackson. And I said it on Sky News and I say it again now, the man is his art. You know, he said, what was it, like 10 years old? I don't sing it if I don't mean it. What I sing is what I really mean. He said that. And he embodied that throughout his entire career, which is why we got albums like History, which were literally an embodiment of how he felt, which is why we had songs like Privacy, that even though he didn't write it, it was a song that meant a lot to him and he wanted it because it was how he felt. He embodied his art. And so to kind of put him in the background and go, well, we'll just push this forward or we'll just push that forward. I think you've said it from day one. It's kind of like this subtle erasure that keeps happening.
Yeah. Yeah. He's phased out. He's slowly being phased out of everywhere and everything. And what they didn't do in 2019 was the catalyst for all of this.
Yeah.
And I think they're maybe giving it another few years. Well, actually, no, that's a redundant point because the biopic is coming out next year. But I think they have hoped that enough time has passed now where they can just get away with it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Tom Mesereau said it during, and we've again said it in these episodes, Tom Mesereau said during the trial that one of the things he had a big task to do was to humanize Michael, because people knew Michael Jackson the superstar, but they didn't know Michael Jackson the human. And I think Tom Mesereau did a fantastic job in doing that. Since Michael passed away, the estate went hell for leather on Michael Jackson, the superstar, the Billie Jean star, the Thriller stars, Smooth Criminal. It's all about the lean. It's all about the iconic looks and the iconic moments. And they went hell for leather on that. And they built him to be this big superstar. And Pepsi were back on board. Fuck Pepsi. And all of these other companies were like back on board, Michael. And then 2019 happened and everybody deserted him again. And it was this whole like, you know, money, influence and power, separate the art from the art and all these stupid conversations. What the estate failed to do was to humanize him. And we're in that position again, where if you want people to connect with Michael, you need to show him the human side of him. Not go, well, we'll just push Cirque performers or Miles Frost in front and use them. Humanize him, which you still haven't done. So our kind of final point on this is, does Michael Jackson need this? Is there something we're missing? Are we missing something? Are we not comprehending something? Are we not understanding the gravity of a situation? Does Michael Jackson's brand and Michael Jackson need this?
No. Michael's work and Michael's body of work, Michael's legacy does enough talking all by itself. Everything that has gained popularity in the last few years has been Michael's music, dancing, all of the things he did by himself on his own. We don't need to pay people to convince others he's cool. Michael can still do that 15 years after his death.
He's always been the influencer. Yeah. He's the ultimate influencer. He literally defined what it meant to influence audiences with music and with fashion and with talent all in one go. This is why every time you see a moonwalk on a commercial or anywhere, you go Michael Jackson. Even though it's originally the backslide, you go Michael Jackson. Every time someone pushes their hat over their head, you go Michael Jackson. Gangster films were doing that for years. People go Michael Jackson. You see people take one winter glove off and they're like, he. You know, that's influence. That's a person that has influenced culture and influenced society. He didn't think, do you know what? The only way people are ever going to think about me when they put a fedora on is if I hire 15 blonde white models in bikinis and get them to wear a hat.
Oh,
I mean, and they don't even look like they give a shit. I'm half expecting them to write "hey hey" instead of "he he" on their posts, because that's how unconnected to all of this they come across.
We saw it firsthand in Germany. When we went, we trekked ourselves out to Dusseldorf and we watched people who were not fans, who didn't know this was going on, who hadn't came for any reason other than they probably lived there and were walking by. We saw the draw that Michael has on his own.
It was the same when I was in Vegas and people were literally walking past and going, what's this? Oh, can we come in? And then they had to sign a waiver to say they were happy to be filmed and they could go straight in. And the immersive experience in Vegas was constantly busy. There was never not a queue, which is great. And, you know, that makes me really happy. And it was constantly busy. But that was a good thing done well. But the rest of it, fell apart. Like, it was Blue Sapphire Celebration. Why didn't you go and get 3 costumes from the archives that are blue, that were Michael's, and put them in cabinets in the lobby of MJ1 so that people can see blue clothing, Blue Sapphire? It's pretty simple. John Branca's lauding around the Thriller Letterman jacket on TikTok, yet they sell replicas of that jacket in the MJ1 shop. Why don't you put that jacket on display in a glass cabinet next to the one you've already got there from the American Music Awards so that people can see, oh, Michael Jackson's jacket, Michael Jackson's replica jacket. This is influence. This is about influencing. And this is how to do it using Michael himself and not other people. But I feel like this is just part and parcel of a vanity project, because as long as they keep hiring these bikini models and people dressed as a cow, then they're going to get self-validation, because people are going to go, oh, thank you so much for bringing me here. I really appreciate this. I've had the best time. You didn't have to do this for me. This was so kind. And then, oh, you're welcome. Yes, I am the one that can do this. I can make or break you. I can tell you can't come next time.
I feel like this is the thing though, like you do, everything comes back to this feeling of you're just deflated by it all. It feels as if there's no hope, because you know they don't listen. You know that they're just going to keep doing whatever they want anyway, so then we're the Money Cows. Okay. I'll take that title.
Well, maybe that's what the influencer was doing, dressed as a cow. It was highlighting the fact that women... But, I had a point to make. What was I going to say? You said
I think what we're really getting at here is Michael deserves more than this, and he's now being insulted by his own estate. I mean, that's not really a new thing, but it's becoming more and more glaringly obvious, and we're just all supposed to sit and swallow it.
Well, I think it also plays into the fact that, oh, I had it again. I've lost it. Wait a sec. What was it? It was... Oh, yeah, that's it. Well, I completely agree, because, you know, when we were talking about topics to film, and we both sort of said, oh, it'd be really good to have something a bit more positive and uplifting of late. And then I think you were like, well, there hasn't been anything. You know, this is what they've done, and we're commenting on what they've done. And that's kind of it. So, yes, we come across as moany cows, but it's like, stop giving us reason to be, and then we won't be.
I just don't like it. I just don't like this paying whoever to say Michael is good. Hi.
Can we...
He has something to say.
Would you... Can we move ourselves? Thank you. I appreciate your opinion, but we'll come back. So, final thought on the why are the MJ estate using influencers? What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are that I don't think they are giving Michael his credit, and I actually don't think they believe in him anymore. And I know that sounds really, really negative, but I don't think they believe that Michael has enough influence and draw on his own. If they did, why are they doing this? I don't think they believe in him anymore. That's what I think.
Yeah, I actually agree with that sentiment. I would go one further to say I'm not sure that they ever did. And they believed in themselves and what they liked more than they ever believed in what Michael did and what Michael created. The sad point is to watch Michael kind of continually be diluted and reduced to comments and flame emojis, and we're just kind of told, put up and shut up, and if you don't like it, don't be here. And it's like, well, we'll always listen to Michael's music, we'll always enjoy Michael in our own way. The difference is, going forward, we just won't be there at the estate organized things and the estate organized events. And so, you know, it may take a while, but eventually the tides will change, and you will have to re-engage with us, because you'll realize that paying people to tell you that your t-shirt looks fire is not worth the bloody paper it's printed on.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Why do you think the MJ Estate are now using influencers to promote Michael? If you think we're wrong, please let us know. And if you agree, let us know as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. Bye.